Being a PhD scholar, you need to study a lot, right? We need a lot of patience to continue another 5 years of study for PhD, and I don't have that much of patience. I have done a lot of study in my BTech and MTech, and that's done. Now I want just a job. How hectic is your PhD life, and how did you balance between your PhD life and social life? How do you get the motivation to enroll for PhD and decided to continue 5 years of study to be a research scholar or PhD scholar? So this kind of comments, this kind of questions I used to receive from many people whenever I used to discuss with them about my PhD life, and when they get to know that I have quitted my job and then decided to come for PhD, and I have decided to dedicate another 5 years to be a research scholar or PhD scholar, and they used to get a lot of wonder, and they have a lot of myth about PhD. So people thinks that PhD need a lot of dedication, a lot of patience to study for another 5 years. At the end of 5 years you will be getting this reward of a PhD scholar, but that's a huge path for another 5 years that you have to dedicate. And this is something that I personally call it as a myth, because this is not completely true. Yes, it's a 5 years process. You have to do a lot of hard work, lot of dedication you have to put, because pressure will be there. Like you have pressure in any job. So if you go for a private job or a government job even, so you have a lot of pressure, and to deal with the pressure you have to do a lot of hard work. So similarly you have pressure in PhD, but it's not a conventional studying system. Like if you have done your bachelor or master's, so there you have a conventional studying system, but in PhD it's not similar to that. It's a completely different system where you have to do research, you have to publish paper, and that is not something that you used to do in your bachelor's and master's. So that myth I am going to break in this video, because I personally feel PhD people have a social stigma on PhD. They think PhD is something big. PhD need a lot of intelligence, a lot of dedication, a lot of patience, and it's not possible to do that because it's a lot of so-called studying. So that myth I am going to break in this video, so that it will be helpful for future students. So please do watch the video till end, and if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe it and hit the bell icon so that you get all the notification regularly. Without further ado, let's get started into today's video. So as I was saying, there is a significant difference between doing PhD and doing bachelor's and master's, and the main difference is in your bachelor's and master's you used to follow a conventional study system where you used to credit the course, and after creating the course you used to get some grade. So like suppose you are creating a particular course in a semester, then what you have to do, you have to attend the classes, you have to learn the concepts from the instructor, whatever he is being taught in the class, and whatever the resources that he is mentioning, you have to come back home, then you have to study those concepts, then you have to solve the assignments, you have to do some project, then in the midterm or final term you have to appear for the exam. There you need to do well in the exam so that you get some good marks, and at the end of the semester how well you perform in all of these things, based on that you will be getting some grade. So this is the conventional study system that we all used to follow during our bachelor life or master's life. But in PhD it's a completely different system. Obviously first 2 semesters you need to do some coursework, so like around 4 to 5 courses you need to do in the first 2 semesters. Since the end of the first semester till your fifth year, you need to do the research work, and research work is something that is completely different. So here you need to frame a problem statement in a specific research direction. Then what you need to do is you need to solve that research problem. Now solving a research problem is kind of similar to what we used to do, so-called a project in any company. So it will take around 1 year to solve a research problem, and typically in any company one project is being done in around 1 to 2 years. So now the workflow of solving a research problem is like this. So first of all you have to find out the research problem, and then you need to do a survey that whatever the problem or whatever the solution that has been already given by some other researchers in the world from the research community. So you need to study all those research solutions that has been given for that particular research problem. then you need to find out the flaws in all of these research problems. So it's not that everyone has solved the research problem and that problem is closed. So if the problem is already done and solved, then you won't be choosing that one. So you will obviously choose a research problem that is still open. And then what you have to do is that you have to build a model so that it beat all the baseline. Now baseline model means that all the work that is already been done by other researchers, and your model has to give a performance that is better than all the baseline. So suppose in terms of machine learning and data science, what I used to work, so there the concept is, so suppose all the baselines they are giving around 80% accuracy. Now you have to design a model which will give more than 80% accuracy, so preferably 85 or 86 at least your model is giving, then your paper will be accepted. So this we call as beating the baseline. So you have to run the experiment and you have to see the results, and if your model is beating all the baselines, then you will write the research paper and you will publish it. I mean, you will submit it actually first of all in any conference and journal. There are other reviewers, there will be some peer review, so there are the other reviewers, they will review your paper, they will give your comments, and based on that your paper may be accepted and or rejected. So if it get accepted, that's good, but if it got rejected in some journal or conference, then you will publish it to some other journal or other conference. So this is the overall pipeline of a research project. And as I was saying, it's almost similar to what we used to do in any company. There also will be given some problem by the client and you have to solve it and you have to deliver it to the client. So that's why I was saying that solving a research problem is equivalent to doing a project in any company. Second thing I'll mention here is, like any company, when you work as a team, you have a hierarchy of people that you used to follow. Like you have your boss or manager, then you will have your team member, then you may have your team lead also, and you have a client who will give you the problem. So similarly in PhD also, you will have a guide who is kind of similar to your boss in any company. You will have other group members or other researchers like the PhD people or MTech people who is under your supervisor or your guide. So they are kind of the similar to what you have as a team member in any job. And you will have a collaborator in research life. So the collaborator will give you the problem statement, they will give you the data, and you have to deal with their data, deal with their problem. So it is also the similar structure that we have in research life, what we used to have in the job. Also there are a lot of similarities between daily life of a researcher or daily life of a professional who used to work in some company. So in company, as you know, you have a lot of meetings you have to attend throughout the day, and then whatever decision is made, based on that you used to do your work. So as a software developer, suppose you should do a lot of coding to develop the software, and then you have to test it, and then finally you have to deploy it in the system. Similarly with researchers, we also used to have a same kind of daily life routine. So kind of weekly we have a lot of meetings that we have to attend. So some meetings are personal meetings, one-to-one with guide, some are with groups, some are with the collaborators. There are some reading groups where students from the group, they used to present different topics. So these things used to go on. Then we have to do a lot of coding to run our experiments, then test it on different data sets, and finally publish the paper. So even routine wise also, a life of a researcher is very similar to someone who is working in any company as a professional. But yeah, there is a small difference, that in any company you have a fixed timeline, like morning 9 to evening 6 o'clock, that will be the office hour where you have to work. But as a researchers, we have a flexibility. We can work anytime we feel that we are comfortable with. So personally, I don't follow any time frame or time zone to work. So I used to work 24/7. When I feel that I want to work, I used to work. So I don't have any kind of fixed time frame. But yeah, that is one difference that is there in research life. As I said, that it's an independent life. You can do work anytime you want, so your work has to be done. That is the bottom line here. But in company, you have to work in the office hour only, because you have some restriction, like your boss has to you have to show your boss that you're working, and there are some restrictions. So that is one difference that is there between your researcher life and a professional's life. The next thing is the incentive part. So in job, you will have a salary, and here you will have a stipend. Obviously the stipend amount is not that big what you used to get as a salary in a company. But yeah, I hope you know that as a stipend in India, more or less we used to get 30 to 35,000 as a research scholar, and if you are a PMRF scholar you'll be getting to 70 to 80,000. But yeah, in any corporate job, any private job, the money is much more. But here you will be getting an additional thing, that is a PhD degree, so that you won't get from any job. So that's why the money is less, because you have a bigger award waiting for you at the end of 5th year. And obviously after in any job, when you will be leaving the job, you will be getting an experience certificate. And here after ending your research life, or after completion of your PhD tenure, you will be getting a PhD degree that is almost equivalent to an experience certificate, like you have a experience of doing research for 5 years. So my moral of the story, what I am trying to say is that doing a PhD, it's not like studying for another 5 years. Initial few semesters you have to study some courses, but after that it's almost like doing a research, doing few projects. So like in whole PhD tenure, more or less you have to publish 4 to 5 papers. So it's like completion of 4 to 5 projects. That's it you have to do. And what people used to think that, you know, you have to study for another 5 years and you are bored with, you know, studying for so long, creating courses. That's not the case in case of PhD. So it's like doing some project, doing some, you know, kind of similar work that you used to do in any job, and that's it. Obviously you need a dedication, you need, you know, a lot of patience, because, you know, this is not so easy. The life is hectic, because as I was saying, the problem that you are solving, it's unknown to the whole community. No one knows. Before like in your bachelor's or master's, whatever the course used to credit, whatever is being taught to you, all those concepts are known by the world. But here the problem statement that you will be dealing with, the solution of that problem statement, no one knows. So yeah, it's difficult. You have to be very innovative, you have to come out with some novel idea, but it's not that difficult also. You don't need to be very brilliant or very talented or intelligent people to do research. There are a lot of mediocre students like me who are also doing research, and it's kind of a habit. I mean, the more you do the research, the more you understand the pattern, and then you will excel. Yeah, so that's it about this video. So I just wanted to break the myths about PhD, whatever I came to know with interacting with many people. So they have a different kind of, you know, social stigma about PhD, and they used to think it's a long study and they don't want to do a study for another 5 years. But it's not a study, it's similar to kind of doing a job, and with a less money obviously, but yeah, it's kind of a job that you are doing as a part of your research life. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and share this video to many people who also used to think that PhD is kind of a hectic life and doing study for another 5 years, so that their myth or their misconception is broken. And if you have any query or any questions about PhD life, feel free to comment in the comment section. I'll try to answer them. And if you are new to this particular channel, again I'm saying that if you want to know more about the PhD life, GATE, IIT, ISC, so I used to make videos regarding this. So if you want to know more about it, please hit subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get all the notifications regularly. That's it about this video. I'll be meeting in the next video. Until then, bye.